The overall look of the film that Chris and I talked about was retaining a magic of Hogwarts, and then of course the adventures within it. We wanted a drama that is written into the books. We didn't want to lose that. We didn't want to make it too sort of glossy and open. So it was a very delicate balance between making it a reality film and a magical film, and I hope we've done it.
I was round about 7 years old when I saw for the first time this, and this, and this. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, with its vibrant colors and magical aesthetics, immediately stuck out to me as a movie that was quite different than anything I have yet seen. While the color grading of other films certainly did its job and complemented other elements like music, dialogue, and sound design, this work had an overall uniqueness in tone and feel that actually enhanced the viewing experience. Anyways, today I want to zero in on the progression of color and aesthetics in the work and look at what makes certain scenes different from others, discovering the magic behind the moments. Already in the first 10 minutes, a contrast appears. The first scene of the movie, where Dumbledore, McGonagall and Hagrid deliver Harry to the Dursleys, has a magical look. Although it is night time, an artificial moonlight shines upon the set, which augments the silvery white beard of Dumbledore, in contrast to the dark robes and monotone houses. As the old wizard wishes Harry good luck and the title card appears, the two main colors of this movie, dark and blue versus light and orange, first come into play. After this very magical and wondrous opening, we get something completely different, a contrast. Whereas in the first scene, the viewer was full of great excitement and amazed by the general aesthetic, now an overall flat and monotone composition takes over, reflecting the dull life Harry experiences with the Dursleys. Nothing is accented or lit interestingly, everything looks the same. As the house of the Dursleys is getting full of Hogwarts letters for Harry, they seek shelter on an island in the middle of the sea. The aesthetics drastically changed though. Now the viewer is being reminded of the first scene, in the night and with this blue filter over the picture, already hinting at what's to come, already hinting at a magical event. As we get into Diagon Alley, this magical and colorful aesthetic is back in its full glory. Not in the way of blue and orange colors, but rather in sheer richness and details, creating an overflow of stimuli in the viewer as well as in Harry. But in Gringotts, though the aesthetics are still the same, the mood changes. Not only because of the presence of the goblins, but also because of the great mystery surrounding Vault 713. The contrast between the magical and the non-magical world is shown once again, as the ordinary train station of King's Cross looks a lot like the Dursleys' home, with muted colors and people wearing formal suits. On platform 9 3/4, however, we are being greeted with immediately more vibrant colors and an orange color palette. Finally, Harry arrives at Hogwarts. Now let's look at this shot. At first, this ominous, gigantic castle at night might seem scary, but again, the orange elements offer a counterweight. They make Hogwarts seem welcoming at the same time. Almost like the dark and blue elements are the many dangers Harry has to face along his journey. Yet there is always a hopeful and welcoming light at Hogwarts, the people he trusts. Now, during Harry's school year, a dichotomy in color can be found. Whenever he is in safe and protected territory, the necessary light is provided through sunlight, or fire used as decorative elements on set, offering again an orange light. But whenever anyone out of the golden trio is in danger, the orange and warm light is stripped away, and we are left with the dark blues and blacks of night. There are 4 very significant sequences in which the dark and ominous mood is used very effectively. First, as Harry goes into the restricted section of the school library. This whole scene is mostly composed of a contrast between the dark shelves and rows, dimly lit by the blue moonlight shining in throughout the windows, and this lone and singular orange light source, carried by Harry under his invisibility cloak. But suddenly he hears a voice, and the only warm color is wiped off the picture, only to be replaced with the warm light of caretaker Argus Filch, showing that despite his gruesome image, his loyalties still lie with Hogwarts. But when Harry runs into Quirrell and Snape, there is no orange whatsoever, with one of them being a traitor and the other being a morally grey individual. This visual representation is crucial. The next scene is much more personal. Notice how the colors aren't much brighter than in the library scene. The dark and ominous aura is still present. And at first it is fitting. Harry detects a mysterious mirror. Curious about what such an object would do in this room, he wanders towards it, only to discover his parents directly inside the glass, yet unreachable. But Harry learns much later the danger that this mirror holds. As he is sitting in front of the object, Dumbledore appears. The wise old professor has to explain to Harry that there are many dangers surrounding this mirror, that it distracts those who desire from living. After the Golden Trio was caught for being out of bed at night, they have to spend their detention in the Forbidden Forest. Here the darkness of night and the blue light coming from the moon work off each other perfectly, with fog in the background used for dramatic effect. Sometimes the characters are walking in front of the blue light, creating a dark silhouette. The danger is emerging. While Professor Quirrell is coming towards Harry, notice that the white fog in the background is a perfect contrast to Quirrell, with his black robe, with the blue light functioning as a natural element. But as the professor is coming closer and closer, the black element of Quirrell's robe is overwhelming the composition, until the centaur Firenze saves him at the last second. As we get near the end of the film, and simultaneously the big climax, Harry eventually discovers that Quirrell is the antagonist, trying to kill him and having Lord Voldemort possess him. Though here something interesting happens. As the professor speaks to Harry alone, the room is cold and dark, showing the evil in Quirrell's heart. Yet then, the professor reveals that Lord Voldemort has control over him, commanding everything he may or may not do. The Dark Lord wants to convince the boy who lived to give him the Philosopher's Stone. As Harry obeys, the room, now strongly lit, gives off this warm and friendly mood we commonly associate with people whom Harry trusts and loves, the feeling of good. Lord Voldemort will one day attack the school directly and destroy the ones Harry trusts and loves. Voldemort will one day even control and manipulate some of Harry's best friends. No matter how well good is protecting itself from evil, Voldemort still finds his ways. The Harry Potter franchise already has reached many children and teenagers on their way to adulthood. This evolution is also reflected in the Harry Potter films. Now, whereas every director had a unique style and approach, I think the work of Chris Columbus and cinematographer John Seale leads the viewer into the wizarding world, not only with plot, character and music, but also with color and aesthetics.